Well, go on everybody on YouTube. My name is Kobe. Thank you guys so much for joining me back here on Nimbus Gaming, and welcome back to another Warframe video. So today, we're just gonna be doing a top 5 Warframes, and not top 5 in regards of top 5 best in the game, but my personal favorite 5. I was gonna plan on doing a least favorite as well in this video, but I'm just gonna stick on a positive point and stick with my positives. So my top 5 favorite frames. So we're gonna go from number 5, working all the way up to number 1. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy, and if you guys see your favorite frame here as well, let me know. Okay, so here we are in the simulacrum with frame number 1. Well, frame number 5, I should say. This is my Prota Prime. I used to have Prota first. I tried her out in the circuit, and I really liked it. So I went ahead and farmed up her frame, and then when the Prime came out, I was super excited. As you guys can see here, I'm somewhat very heavily invested in her when it comes on to the Archon shards. I believe all of these are for duration. Yep, and 2 casting speeds. When it comes on to her build, it is pretty basic, I guess. A decent amount of range, a lot of duration, and a lot of strength. I'm running augmented and multi-efficiency for extra strength and extra duration when it comes on to having my shields up. Right, so as you guys can see, it's a 4 forma build with the glowing power, power drift, transient fortitude, rolling guard for that survivability, or if I'm in a pinch. I'd say. Umbrella intensify, prime flow for the extra energy, prime continuity, arcana vitality for the not for the health, but for the fact that each heat status that I deal, it'll get applied twice. Well, the damage will be applied twice. Uh, Stretch and equilibrium, because for her third ability, she produces a lot of health and energy orbs, and with equilibrium, you could just essentially always have energy. Alright, so let's see here. Alright, so just to give you guys a gist of what Prota does, so these won't be full in-depth builds for in-depth guides for them. So essentially, what I'm gonna do is just show you guys exactly what my favorite frames are currently, and then if you guys need or want a build or want my builds, we could go ahead and do a full video when it comes on to breaking down exactly how they work and all that stuff. And as you guys can see, I have her paired with the Nautilus Prime. Well, Nautilus, not Nautilus Prime as yet. Nautilus Prime will be coming out in the next update, which I'm excited for. Alright, so let's see here. Alright, so we are running the Torrid and the dual tax, so we won't be really using those. Alright, so what I typically do when it comes on to using my Prota, as you guys can see, so her first ability is the grenades. So you can either throw out the shield grenades, which will attach to you and boost your shields and give you overshields, and boost the regen of your shields as well. That's for you to hold tap, and if you just tap cast, it'll throw out the shrapnel grenades, which essentially just deal a bunch of slash damage. And what I typically do is, seeing as this build has the Helminth ability of Roar, what I'll typically do is toss out 3 of these of any kind, and then I'll just go ahead and cast my 4, which is Roar. So the thing about Protea's passive is that once she uses 4 abilities, the 4th ability that she casts will be 100% strength. So I guess essentially just double strength. So I go ahead and get that double strength on my Roar. And now whenever I cast my 1, I'll just cast a few of those. And these are level 170 heavy gunners. Well, that's the 1 when it comes down to it. And then her 2, she sends out these little turrets, which multiply with each, the damage multiplies with each shot that hits an enemy. They're extremely broken. Just to give you guys a better demonstration, toss 1 out here, 1 here, and gone. Extremely broken, especially with a Roar. And as I said, for her third ability, it's just a dispensary. Or is it? Oh, there it is. So yeah, so that's my Prota. now on to Warframe number 4. And for my Warframe number 4, or my fourth favorite Warframe, that would be Mesa Prime. Yeah, Mesa Prime. I thought I just switched her over Protea. So this is my Mesa Prime. As you guys can see, I am using the turret when it comes onto this. And I will be making a video on my top 5 favorite primary, melee, and secondary weapons. So stay tuned for that. Alright, so this is my Mesa. She also has an helmet, and the helmet on her is Nourish over her first ability, because I just don't use the first ability that often. And for her second ability, it is Shooting Gallery. It's a little buff. As I said, I'll go into depth when it comes on to making builds for each of these, videos for each of these builds. And for her third ability, that is Shatter Shield, which gives her essentially immunity, well, 90% damage reduction when it comes on to projectiles. So she'll be able to essentially just take less damage from shots and stuff like that. So unless the enemy is using some special abilities or using a melee attack, then you should be fine. Right, and for her fourth, as you guys know, is her Peacemakers. My Mesa isn't the most broken Mesa. You guys probably have a better Mesa, or know someone that does. As you guys can see, I don't really have much investment in her. I have these 2 blue shards for health, because I run adaptation on her. Let's see here, and these are just casting speeds. Which I should swap those up for Tau Forges, because I have a lot of Tau Forge blue shards, and yellow shards, if I'm being honest. Alright, and so this is the build. The Aura mod, it's just there because I didn't feel like putting a Aura Forma in her at the time. I should do that though. But yeah, that's why this is here. Most likely, I would have either Growing Power or Brief Respite there. So if you guys want to use this build or copy this build, and you just use Brief Respite for the shield gating, or use Growing Power for the extra power strength. Right, so let's see here. Right, so I use Mold Augmented for extra strength and Arcane Velocity for the fire rate on her Peacemakers. Prime Flow, Adaptation for the survivability. This right here, essential. Well, essential for my playstyle. I don't like the idea of being stuck in one spot. Yeah, so I gotta have that Mesa once. So let's see here, Precision Intensify. This is for her fourth ability, the Peacemakers. The added strength. Streamline for efficiency, Equilibrium for that energy sustain, Blind Rage, strength, Augur Message, and Prime Continuity for the duration of both the Shatter Shield and the Nourish, as well as, I do believe that, am I right? I should be right. Yeah. I think so. Yeah. So I do believe that duration also helps when it comes on to the drain of channeled abilities, which her fourth is. Okay, so this is my Mesa build right now. It is still a work in progress. I do want to go over it a little bit more. So probably I'll give you guys an updated build on this whenever I figure it out. And this is the Peacemaker build, if you guys wanted to know. Alright, and that's my Mesa Prime. Hope you guys like it. In regards to my fashion, it's nothing too crazy. As you guys know, I kind of have this theme. I'll go ahead and give you guys a better look when it's back on my orbiter, seeing as the lighting in the simulacrum is a little bit dark. Alright, so the third best frame, or my third favorite frame, would be Mr. Kullervo, which we already did a video on. So you guys know Kullervo extremely well. You guys know this guy very, very well. So yeah, so I don't think I'll be going over his abilities, because if you guys want to see exactly what he does, just go ahead and check out my previous video. I do a full guide on his abilities and a build, as well as show off him running a Netrocell. Alright, and for Warframe number 2, or my second favorite Warframe, that would be Xaku. I'm still bummed out at the fact that we're not getting Xaku Prime, and we're getting Gauss Prime. I'm still sad about it, but you know, that's just the way to cook your combos. I'm not DE. And in regards to Archon shards, we have duration and a bunch of strength, and one casting speed. And for the build, this right here is my Xaku build. Arcane Energized and Augmented for energy sustain and that extra ability strength. Seeing as I'm not running any form of flow mods or anything like that, I do need the Arcane Energize, and I'm not running Equilibrium either. So as you guys see, Cross Projection, Power Drift for the ability strength, and the resist to knockdown. Overextended because range is extremely important on Xaku. So that's why I have Reach, Stretch, and Overextended, as well as Prime Continuity and Message, Auga Message for the duration as well, because Xaku's whole kit revolves around his fourth being active. I'll go over it in a little bit. But yeah, on the Intensify and Transient Fortitude for strength, as well as Streamline for that efficiency. So yeah, so that's my Xaku build. So let me go ahead and show you guys exactly what Xaku does. Alright, so for his one, so get the enemies out. So for Xaku's one, it is Zata's Whisper, which essentially just puts a void bubble on an enemy. So if they fire, their bullets get. It's like a mag bubble. So essentially, all bullets get attracted or magnetized to that enemy. And as you guys can see, I am running him with the Kuva Sobek. It is a very great synergy when it comes on to Xaku, because especially with Zata's Whisper, because it does work on the explosions from acid shells, which I do have on my Sobek. So let me just give you guys a demonstration. So yeah, this works a little bit better when it comes down to using his third ability, which I'll be showing you guys in a little bit. Alright, so get these guys back out. So we're going to go ahead and cast R2, which is Grasp of the Loke, which essentially just steals all the enemy's weapons from them, and then uses it to essentially kill them. So, alright, so you guys saw his 2 and his 1 so far. So in regards to his 3 is 3 different abilities, or a cycle of 3 in one. Sorry about that. So what I typically do is only run one of them, which is the Gaze, which essentially is just an armor strip. So essentially you grab an enemy. Hey guys, let me go. You'll grab an enemy and boom. So everybody in this range, hence why the range on Xaku is so necessary. That's how far it goes, all the way from there, all the way up to. I mean, I could just show you guys this in the stats, if I'm being honest. So that's about 60 meters, 65, thereabout. Right, so all these guys are armor strip, which makes the synergy with the Sobek even much better. So I don't have Zata's Whisper. Don't have Zata's Whisper cast. Alright, so there we go. Zata's Whisper. And everyone blows up. Except this guy. There we go. Right, and in regards to his 4 is essentially just I guess a stopwatch? I don't know what they call it. It just stops time for all of his other abilities. It's called the Vast on Time. Right, so it breaks off its shell, which does a little bit of damage to the enemies around, as well as slow them down. And then it also gives them a little bit of damage vulnerability, I believe. But yeah, so let's see here. So we have that casted. So if you look right now, you'll see that once this is casted, the duration for his first is not going down. So essentially, everything just stops once this is up, right? So we're gonna go ahead and cast his 3, and everyone's gone. And yeah, So that's my Xaku. If you guys want a full build on Xaku, he's a little bit complicated, but if you guys want a full build on Xaku, just let me know, and I'll ensure that you guys get that. All right, let's see here, and for frame number 1, which is my most used frame, and still my favorite frame. You guys know him. You guys know him really well. It is no other than Big Gauss. Gauss Prime. This is my dude right here. This is my favorite frame. I have a few different fashions for him. It's nothing too crazy though. This was just some experimental stuff. Don't really like it. And this was just me representing Jamaica. You know, tossed on all my national colors. It doesn't look like a Jamaican flag right now, but I'll show you guys when I get back into the orbiter. But yeah, put on back the OG stuff. And as you guys can see, I am running him with the Prota Prime. Oh yeah, the build. So for Gauss, you want a lot of duration. Well, it depends on the type of build you're going for. If you're going for a red line, well, everyone uses red line. So essentially, it's either you're going for a nuke build with this thermal sunder, or you're going for a weapons platform. I'm like a 50-50, I guess. I guess I'm more of a weapons platform with him. However, he can nuke with his thermal sunder. So as you guys can see, all duration except this Tau Forge Blue for health, because I don't know why, but it's like every single Steel Path mission, there is a Toxin Eximus somewhere lurking. It doesn't matter if it's infested missions, Grenier missions, or Core Pie missions. There will be a toxic Eximus somewhere, and Toxin is the bane of Gauss's existence, right? Let's see here. So we have the build. We have corrosive projection, rush for that extra speed because you guys know I have to go fast. Arcane Energize, Molt Augmented. You guys know the deal with those already. We have continuity for that sweet duration, including message as well. And we have Rolling Guard for whenever that toxin hits. We have Archon Flow, not necessary, but it's there. Also, you guys can see this is a Zero Forma build, so I know I could put a lot more investment into the build itself, but I have a lot of Archon shards, so that's that. But yeah, as you guys can see, we have Stretch and Reach. That is for the Thermal Sunder. We have Streamline for efficiency, Archon Vitality, not for the health, more so for the fact that it deals double heat damage, and that goes great with my third ability. Both it and Archon Flow goes great with my third ability. So yeah, so that's pretty much the build. This is my everyday build, or my primary build. This build right here is more so for, what do I use this build for? I don't even know. Is this mine? Is this? I think this is the, yeah, this is the quote-unquote weapons, but I don't know what this build is for. I don't know. Yeah, I have no idea. Yeah, so this is the Thermal Sunder Nuke build. This is my Thermal Sunder Nuke build. All you guys can see is that I just swapped out a little bit of duration for a lot more range and a lot less strength, which it's not necessary, it's nor needed, if I'm being honest, because with his third, the amount of heat procs that you put out they essentially multiply, they're infinite, so as long as you have energy, you could just keep casting it. Alright, so let's go into, let's give you guys a little preview of what my Gauss does. So what I typically do first is I typically pop my 4, which is my red line, which essentially gives me a boost in fire rate, I believe attack speed as well, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, attack speed and a bunch of other stuff. Let me just go over that. Well, as I said, I'll give you guys a full build tutorial when it comes on to my Gauss and all the way it works. Alright, so let's get those enemies out. So as I said, we have the Xaku Prime. As you guys can see, Gauss's first ability is his bread and butter. That's that speed, boy. And to show you guys exactly what his second ability does, which is, are these guys moving now? Awesome. So what his second ability does, it's kinetic plating. It's essentially any form of physical damage. So IPS damage, impact, puncture, slash, heat, or cold. They do me no damage. Or they do the exact amount of damage that my battery is doing. So if my battery is at 100%, then that's a 100% damage reduction. Whatever percentage my battery is, that's the amount of damage reduction I get, right? And as you guys can see, I'm currently charging the battery just by moving around. It works just by moving around, but if you mock rush, it works a lot better. And whenever kinetic plating is activated, each shot or each instance of damage that you do take, it does trickle down the battery, so you got to be wary of that. So yeah, and for his third ability, that's Thermal Sunder. So you hold cast for cold and you tap for heat. And just like that, everyone's gone. Alright, so let me just go ahead and get a fresh set of guys up to show you guys that again, to show exactly how my Thermal Sunder works. And everyone's gone. Yep, so that's pretty much just Gauss, if I'm being honest. And if you guys want to see my Xaku Prime, it's a bit cracked if I'm not going to. It's not like an Incarnon, but my god, is it great. Especially in the hands of Gauss. Like, it's not the fastest to kill, but it's like it's to me it's like the perfect weapon for everyday content. Great AoE damage, great damage overall. And I have a ribbon which allows me to red crit pretty easily. If you guys want to see my Xaku build, I mean you guys will see that in a little bit. But you guys could always if you guys want to find out, just let me know in the comments. But yeah, so that's my Gauss. And let me go ahead and take you guys back to the orbiter to let you guys see all the fashion. Or yeah. Alright, and we're back in the orbiter. So let me go ahead and walk back to teleport back to the arsenal to give you guys a quick rundown back again when it comes on to the frames. And for a honorable mention or two honorable mentions, it would be Frost or Frost Prime. I absolutely love Frost. He's uh, he's cool. Pun not intended, but he's so cool. Like, very underrated frame. Very, very underrated frame. And then for my Ash, Mr. Emo himself. Alright, so just to go over the frames once more, to show you guys exactly when it comes onto my fashion and all that stuff. So in 5th place we have Prota Prime. And in 4th we had Mesa Prime, which it's still a work in progress because I can get a lot more DPS out of her and a lot more red crits and stuff like that, but I just haven't really, put the effort in as much. In regards to where I use Mason most of the time, I'm pretty much mainly using her in the circuit because she's just broken in the circuit. She and Xaku, I use both of them to essentially just, cheese the circuit. Easiest frames to use in the circuit, especially Xaku. And for number 3, you guys know him so well, Mr. Kullervo. And for Kullervo, I do believe I had a different. This is just Mr. Edgelord, but yeah. And I had this one as well. Nothing too crazy. And for number 2, we had Xaku, which I didn't really do much to Xaku. I just slapped on an ephemera. and just a few accessories and stuff like that. I could do better, if I'm being honest. This was my old color scheme. This was just, I mean, this is really cool, but I don't really use it that much. But that's Xaku, number 2, and number 1, it's Gauss. And yeah, to show you guys a better look at the other 2 colors, this one's right here, and for the Jamaica color one, it's this. I mean, it kind of looks goofy, if I'm being honest. I just did it just to be patriotic. I don't know. It's a bit goofy though. I'm not gonna cap. But yeah. So those are my top 5 favorite or most used Warframes. As I said, if you guys want to see a in-depth build when it comes on to any of the other 4 apart from Kullervo, seeing as I already did a video on him, just let me know in the comments, and I'll be happy to give you guys a breakdown. And also be on the lookout for my favorite primaries, secondaries, and melee weapons. So you guys just be on the lookout for those. I think you guys may be surprised about a few weapons that I have on this list, seeing as they're not quote-unquote meta. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining me today. My name's Kobe. Thank you guys so much for joining me here at Nimbus Gaming. Peace.